Do I need to exercise my dog more so he calms down? Maybe you go outside with the ball and you throw it 1,000 times to make your dog run. Or you take him to the dog's park hoping he plays with other dogs and gets home tired. Or you try to give him a super long walk but with a tight leash because you have heard that your dog cannot stop and sniff because you have to let him know who is the boss. And this is one question that I get asked a lot. Do I need to exercise my dog more so he calms down? And the answer is no. But let me explain you why. I have an Australian Kelpie, a Kiwi. You can see some of our videos skiing. We live in the Swiss Alps and we do a lot of exercise. My husband is an alpinist, and Kiwi, she goes all the way up to the mountains, 1,400 de niveau, running. She has the time of her life. But every time she comes home, I have to help her calm down. Remember the previous episodes about the residual stress? Because if I do not help my dog recover after these activating activities that she loves, and she would not be happy without them, because she loves them, she enjoys them, and she is a dog that needs that. So I need to provide her with it. But I live in Geneva city center and I need my dog to be calm because we also live in an apartment and I want a normal dog with whom I can do everything. If you didn't know it, even Kiwi is my service dog. So she comes with me almost everywhere. And we do a lot of exercise, but I do not rely her calmness in the exercise we do. Coming back to the ball and the playing, what happens? Cortisol levels, when we play and we activate our dogs a lot, the cortisol levels go up and it takes a while so they can lower and your dog can recover calm. If you do not help your dog recover, like for example playing, when you throw the ball 1,000 times so your dogs run after the ball, you can make your dog become a ballaholic. And then when you're outside and you think like you have the power with the ball because it's the only way your dog listens to you and responds to the recall when you take the ball. There are so many people, I have so many clients that come to me with this and I see it outside, no, but the dog has an addiction, it's a problem. It's like people with alcohol. Even though you feel you have the power, when you need it because of the ball, it's not healthy for your dog. Playing has to be structured, and playing is amazing if your dog likes it, because you can create and structure many things of the communication, of the behavior, and many things that your dog needs for a healthy emotional health, for a behavioral health. But structure playing, because our dogs do not learn to regulate into the play by themselves. And we use the play to help our dogs learn when they are in high emotional states, but with structure and with rules. And this brings me to what we saw in the first episode of our dog's emotional balance, okay? If you take your dog outside a lot and he does a lot of exercise and he gets overexcited a lot, we're going to have this balance, okay? Remember the balance. You take your dog outside and he runs a lot, he gets overexcited, but he does not calm down, and this is going to be creating a stress. We have positive stress and negative stress, eustress and de-stress that we will have to remove. If not, remember the glass that overflows, okay? So we have to have a balance. This will be the negative side and this is the positive side. Your dog needs to have a balance. If your dog does not spend 80% of the time in the positive side and less than 20 in the negative side, he is going to be not in stability, but like this, okay? And we're looking for an stability. It's okay, we have some ups and downs along the day, but this cannot be something common. This cannot be something that happens a lot. We need stability. Is my dog going to get calmer when I provide him more activity? The answer is no. You need to provide calm also to your dog. And I come back to the example of my own dog, Kiwi, the one who took me out of my comfort zone, my service dog nowadays. I have to provide her with calm because she's a very active dog, and the hardest exercise for us was calm, to help her calm down. And it's something that we do need to provide our dogs. So you have to remember this 80-20 rule the next days, okay? You can evaluate the next week how much time your dog spends here and how much time your dog spends here, and if the activities you are providing to your dog help him calm down. What are the activities that are going to help your dog? You can check on the description, but nosework, and a long nosework, the longest the research, but you have to first help your dog. Try to do it with a leash. If you are outside, we will check this in another video, but nosework is very good for your dog. Structure, playing if your dog likes playing with a structure, with rules, with communication, is very good. I want to give you another example with kids. For example, when you take your 3-year-old kid to the nursery and they play a lot non-stop, they let them run, they take them outside, there is no control and there is not calm moment. Or he's been in a party non-stop. Your son comes home, he's tired, he's physically tired, but he's overexcited, and you can see that he's going to have a hard time to sleep, that he's going to be crying, and that he's going to be grumpy. But on the other hand, if the same kid goes, for example, to a spot where they can play a little bit with rules, they have time to relax, they have time to draw, they have time to think, they have time to do things that they enjoy and that are good for them, but provide them with a balance, with stability. Then this kid is going to come home tired, maybe not as physically tired as the other, but more tired mentally, and he's going to be more relaxed and he's going to be more calm. And this is the same that happens with your dog. We tend to think, and we have been taught, that we have to activate our dog, and the most active our dog is, the most he has to burn that energy. And the thing is that the most active your dog is, the most you need to provide calm to your dog. And think, I have an Australian Kelpie. She's my service dog, is one of the most active dogs that exist, and we are always on the French Alps or Swiss Alps. But we live in the city center and I have to provide her calm too, okay? So think of that. How can I provide calm to my dog? You have different things. We have a nosework. Along research, you can use, for example, your dog's breakfast and spread it somewhere. We will make a video out of this, but this is going to provide your dog with many emotional and behavioral benefits along good nosework. Another thing that you can do is structure playing. Play with your dog, but with rules, with understanding, with structure. Another thing that is very good is taking your dog to a walk where he can sniff and he's not gonna be overstimulated all of the time. I like to go somewhere with my dog that she can smell around. Maybe I cannot do it every day, but I try to do it maybe once a week, 2 times a week. You have to choose quality over quantity. It's best to do a good, calming and positively, emotionally, I don't know how to, I don't find the word in English, but it's going to fulfill your dog than take 1 hour or 30 minutes of overexcitement playing at the park and not lowering the emotional levels and the stress levels after. Another thing that you can do with your dog is cognitive. You can help your dog think. How do I know if my dog is calm after the exercise? So wait 1 hour, 2 hours after he has done playing at the park or whatever you've done with him, and check if your dog can settle after, or if he has he's overexcited, biting things, not listening to you, asking for more. And we have to know also that sometimes when we think that our dog is calm, maybe the behavior that he's giving us is not here, is rather here, and it's a bit harder to evaluate. For example, when our dog greets us, when we get home and our dog greets us very excited, and I'm sure that you have heard that you have to ignore your dog and a million things, and this is something that we're going to be talking in next episode. How do I greet my dog overexcited when I get home? So go check next episode.